Alright, folks, and welcome to the final installment in our WWE Survivor Series review series right here on WrestleRant. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and today we're talking about Survivor Series 2014. I will not be reviewing Survivor Series 2015 just because it just happened, and I usually like that 1 year window of reflecting back on the event that happened at least 1 year prior, so it's only been a week or two, so I'm not going to be reviewing Survivor Series 2015. But today we are talking about an event that was much better in my opinion. Survivor Series 2014. So kicking off the show for the WWE Tag Team titles, a fatal four-way tag team title match, not elimination. The first man to be pinned, the titles would go to the man who picked up the victory. It was The Miz and Damien Sandow, Gold and Stardust, the Usos, and Los Matadores. And a pretty fun match. The build was okay. They just kind of threw four random tag teams in one match together. Didn't really have any rhyme or reason. I mean, Gold and Stardust were fine champions. The Usos were never really not in the title picture. The Matadors were just randomly thrust in there for no apparent reason whatsoever. And the Miz and Mizdow had some great momentum going on with the whole Mizdow shtick and Miz being a great heel. And in the end, they were the right choice to take home the titles. They became the new WWE Tag Team Champions. And I love the finish here. A lot of chaos, of course, in the final few minutes and every team getting knocked out. And one of the Uso brothers landed a splash on Goldust. Miz tossed him out of the ring after tagging him in once Uso was going for the pinfall after his finisher, after connecting with his finisher. Miz tossed him out of the ring, and in doing so, Mizdow tagged himself in, pins Goldust to pick up the victory, so he looked shocked as ever to be winning the gold. And they did the whole yay boo shtick with the split crowd reaction, with the crowd yaying Damien Mizdow and booing The Miz, and it was a great dynamic, a great moment for those two, and Damien Sandow's first championship in WWE. So a great moment, a fun match, and a very good way, in my opinion, of kicking off the show. After that, a 4-on-4 traditional elimination Survivor Series tag team match, pitting Team Fox, Alicia Fox, Naomi, Natalya, and Emma against Team Paige, Summer Rae, Layla, and Cameron. In a pretty forgettable match. I mean, there was some fine in-ring action. In the end, it was all of Team Fox surviving, so a complete sweep, and Paige was the last woman standing before getting eliminated by Natalya, I believe it was. So a fun match, or maybe it was Naomi, or I forgot who it was, but it was an enjoyable match. It was cool to see Emma get showcased for once, and I believe she got an elimination over somebody. But it was cool to see her out there for once and not being completely neglected on the roster. So a nice little match they threw on the card at the last minute because they needed more matches, and it didn't make a huge difference to the card. But it was nice to see the women showcase for once. After the women's match later on would go about 30 seconds. So after that, we had Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose. Initially, I don't really remember these matches being all that great. I mean, they had some pretty good matches. The TLC match was pretty good. The ambulance match was okay. This match was pretty good. But in watching it back, they really did have some really good chemistry. I think it was more a matter of the fact that neither guy needed to lose at that period in time. You know, Ambrose was fresh off his loss to Rollins in the main event of Hell in a Cell. And Bray Wyatt had been pretty much buried. I mean, I hate using that word, but he had been buried for the latter half of 2014 and desperately needed to win. So the non-finish was logical. The way that it came about with, Ambrose completely throwing the rules out the window didn't really matter too much to me, considering he's a lunatic fringe. But it was more so the story they were trying to tell, with Bray Wyatt trying to, induct him into the Wyatt family. I mean, the Wyatt family was already over by this point, or at least for a while. But he was trying to turn him evil, or whatever it was. The story just didn't really click. And I know in the video package for this match, they covered Wyatt bringing up Ambrose's past and his father being in jail, which was never brought up again. I completely forgot he even said that, because it was like a throwaway line in an episode of SmackDown, and it was never brought up again. So they had a decent feud. I thought the match was pretty good. The non-finish made sense. Where the feud went from here wasn't really all too exciting. But it was a good match. They teased the TLC stipulation the following month. They confirmed it later on in the show, but Ambrose, after the match, attacked Bray Wyatt with a steel chair, with a ladder, with a few tables. So they kind of set the stage for that match nicely. And just the only thing I didn't really understand about it was the story, which I guess was really the only thing that took away from the match. But everything else I thought was good, though. I enjoyed it. They had good chemistry. The only other thing I would take away from this match was the fact that towards the end, after Ambrose had unleashed all this carnage, all this destruction on Bray Wyatt, Bray Wyatt's buried literally beneath the tables and all the scraps and whatever else. And as Ambrose sits atop the ladder, Michael Cole on commentary yells, "Bray Wyatt has been buried." It was a very poor choice of words, obviously, but I just thought that was funny. So after that, we had Adam Rose and the Bunny taking on Slater Gator, Heath Slater, and Titus O'Neil, a match that was set up earlier in the evening, a complete throwaway match. No one gave a shit. The Bunny beat Heath Slater, who had actually pinned Seth Rollins a couple months earlier on Raw, so maybe the Bunny is better than Heath Slater. I don't know. But anyway, a completely forgettable match. Adam Rose and the Bunny, they were trying to tease tension between the two, but that whole Adam Rose, during his entire year and a half stint in the main roster, has seemingly had a new gimmick every single week, whether it's I'm a babyface emo, I'm a heel emo, I'm going to attack the Bunny, I'm a party pooper, I'm a party goer, I'm a really pissed off emo. All these different hot steamy poop. Every single gimmick this guy has had has been just fucking weird, atrocious, and it hasn't done him any favors at all. And it's a real shame because I'm an Adam Rose fan, but they have completely mishandled him since he came up from NXT. He wasn't even in NXT long enough to really justify coming up to the main roster when he did. But still, I mean, this guy has been just a complete joke in the past year and a half on Raw and SmackDown. But anyway, that was that match. Went about 2.5 minutes. No one gave a crap, but at least it didn't go, twice as long. So there is that. So after that, for the Divas Championship, Nikki Bella knocking off AJ Lee to become the Divas Champion in record-setting 33 seconds. I don't know if it was the quickest Divas title match of all time, but it was pretty quick. So what happened was the bell rang. Brie Bella, who had been the slave, in I guess in so many words, for Nikki Bella for the past month after losing to her at Hell in a Cell. Remember, this was in the midst of one of the worst feuds in WWE history when Nikki had turned on her at SummerSlam and they had been feuding. Then they were partners, with Brie Bella being the reluctant slave, whatever. So Brie Bella steps in the in-ring apron with the championship around her shoulder. She locks lips with AJ Lee, shades of WrestleMania 28 when she did the same thing to Daniel Bryan and cost him the World Heavyweight Championship. Same thing happened here. AJ turns around. She gets hit with an elbow from Nikki Bella. Nikki follows up with the Rack Attack for the 1-2-3, a new Divas champion that kicks off her near 10-month reign as Divas champion in WWE. So I think what's funny about this match was that I actually got up to go to the bathroom. The only point of the night that I went to go to the bathroom, and I never go to the bathroom during pay-per-views, but I guess I really had to go. So I got up, I took a piss during the entrance for the Bellas, or maybe it was AJ, I don't know who it was, but during the entrances, I got up to take a piss, and when I came back, it was commercial. I'm thinking, did they go to commercial during the match? And then I found out the title match was over, and that Brie Bella essentially went heel. And I thought it was kind of her way of beating Nikki Bella for the belt, but it was never revealed to be that way, and they have been in cahoots ever since. So that was kind of a very lazy way of blowing off one of the worst feuds in recent, or if not all time, in WWE. So that was kind of bullshit. But, like I said, the moment was significant in kicking off Nikki Bella's reign, her 10-month record-setting reign as Divas Champion. So at least it wasn't a complete waste of time. It was a nice little shock, though. Just the whole Brie Bella turning heel thing after she had been abused by Nikki for months made absolutely no sense, but hey, we're supposed to forget about that, right? So we get to the main event, Team Cena versus Team Authority in a 5-on-5 elimination traditional tag team match at Survivor Series. And of course, the stipulation riding here was that the Authority lost, that they would be out of power, but if Team Cena lost, then the 4 members of Team Cena, with the exception of John Cena himself, would be fired. Now, the 2 teams consisted of Team Cena being John Cena, Dolph Ziggler, Big Show, Eric Rowan, and Ryback. Team Authority was Seth Rollins, Kane, Mark Henry, Rusev, and Luke Harper. So you had two very combustible teams here. A lot of guys that had been already feuding with each other: Mark Henry, Big Show, Luke Harper, Dolph Ziggler, John Cena, Seth Rollins. So a lot of different feuds already going on in this match. And I love the series of eliminations for the most part. Big Show's heel turn, I could have really done without. I know it was kind of, it made sense within the context of the story. Big Show thought they would be outnumbered, so he turned on his team to make sure his job stayed safe, even though Triple H kind of treated him like a complete bitch for most of 2013. But again, storytelling is not WWE's strong suit, or at least consistency isn't. So he turns heel, was whatever. I mean, it genuinely made me hate the Big Show because I really wanted to see Team Cena win. So there was that. And then Ryback getting taken out as soon as he was, after he had been basically the whole focal point of the build-up, was a bit disappointing. But everything else I thought was great. Rusev was taken out via countout, so a great way of keeping his undefeated streak intact. Mark Henry taken out within like 20 seconds of the match starting, with Big Show knocking him out with a right hand. So even though Big Show went heel, at least he got his hands on his former tag team partner and arch rival. And Mark Henry must have been hurt because the following night on Raw, I mean, I know he was hurt, but the following night on Raw, he got taken out by Ryback within like a minute. And so he must have been working with an injury, and he couldn't have gone on longer than he did in this match. So I guess it served that purpose. But like I said, Big Show went heel. Eric Rowan got taken out by Luke Harper. And after John Cena got eliminated by Seth Rollins, which was a shocker of the century, we had Ziggler taking on all three members of Team Authority by himself: Luke Harper, Kane, and Rollins. And he would get rid of Kane with a zigzag, Harper with a roll-up, and it was down to him and Rollins. A lot of great back and forth, a lot of great near falls. Triple H took out more than one referee at various points towards the end. He laid out Ziggler with a pedigree even after Ziggler had the match won with a zigzag on Rollins. And then as he calls out crooked referee, Scott Armstrong, which was great, by the way. That's some awesome storytelling, some awesome long-term storytelling. So as he comes down to make the 1, 2, 3 for Team Authority, the lights go out, some mysterious music hits, and it's Sting making his WWE debut. Place comes unglued, the commentators go crazy. I went freaking berserk. He comes down, goes face to face with Triple H for seemingly a whole decade, but it was a cool moment, I should say that. So Triple H goes for a punch after saying, "What the fuck are you doing here?" You can really see him saying, you could see his mouth. You could see him mouthing those words, which was funny. So Triple H goes for a punch. He misses. Sting hits him in the gut. Then he follows up with the Scorpion Death Drop. Puts Dolph Ziggler on top of Rollins. 1, 2, 3. The Authority is out of power. Sting makes his debut. Dolph Ziggler's the sole survivor. It was seemingly the culmination of so many great goddamn moments. It was awesome. And unfortunately, the Authority would return the following month. Ziggler was out of the main event picture a month later, so the win didn't do anything for either of those people, and Sting's gone on to be a loser in WWE. I mean, he lost to WrestleMania, he lost at Night of Champions, he got injured in Night of Champions. I wouldn't go so far as to say that Sting got hurt, or that he, not got hurt, but as far as got ruined by WWE, but his run could have been booked better from the get-go, but still, that was a great moment. I mean, I know it was rumored going into the show that Sting might be there, but honestly, I don't know about any of you guys, but that was the last thing on my mind while watching this match, in that Randy Orton, the whole show, it emanated from St. Louis, Missouri, and the commentators mentioned that too, during the entrance of the Authority, that this was his hometown, his native St. Louis, so I figured this would be the place where he would return and cost the Authority their jobs, but in the end, he was nowhere to be seen, which is funny, RKO out of nowhere, but it was Sting who made his debut, and it was an awesome moment, a great win for Dolph Ziggler, albeit for the meantime, but such an epic ending, and probably the best ending to a WWE pay-per-view since WrestleMania 30, easy, very easy to say that, but yeah, pretty good show on the whole. I wouldn't go so far as to say it was one of the greatest shows of all time just because of that one ending, but the rest of the show held up well. We had a very fun opener with Miz and Mizdow winning the tag team titles. Nikki Bella won the Divas Championship and a heel turn from Brie Bella. We had a pretty good match from Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose. And then the tag team match with Rose the Bunny Slater Gator was forgettable, but whatever. And then the women's tag team match was decent too. That kind of ate up some TV time. So on the whole, I would give the show a thumbs up. I would definitely say check it out, if only for that main event. And like I said in my video blog a few weeks ago, that was my favorite Survivor Series match of all time. Whether it be a tag team match, singles match, whatever, that was my favorite Survivor Series match of all time, if only for the awesome video package set to Edge of a Revolution by Nickelback. That was a great song for a great moment, a great match, and a great pay-per-view. So, yes, I would recommend that you go out of your way to watch this pay-per-view, even though Survivor Series is already come and gone. It's well worth your time, so be sure to check it out. So like I've mentioned in past videos, moving on now, what is next here on WrestleRant? Well, so starting Tuesday, I believe, starting this upcoming Tuesday, just 2 days away, my reviews of the Royal Rumble shows will be up from Tuesday all the way until Royal Rumble in late January. And we are going back to the old schedule of only 2 videos a week, not 3. So I'll be having one video up on Tuesday, another one up on Saturday, and that's it. Unless I miss a video, then 2 of them will be up on the weekend, but you get my drift. So, that it's easier for me to watch less hours of the network a week, or watch less pay-per-view hours a week, and, also takes a while to kind of, load these videos, record these reviews and whatnot, so it's better for me, logistically speaking, but hopefully you guys will enjoy that as well. Royal Rumble 1987 review up on Tuesday, and from there, my reviews of all the Royal Rumbles I did not review last year, and last year I'm pretty sure I talked about, let's see here, 96 2000, I don't think I reviewed any ones in between there, but 96, 2000, 01, 02, 03, 05, 07 maybe? I think I reviewed 07 too. 07, 08, 2010, 2011, and I think that might have been it, unless I reviewed 2013, but I don't think I did. I'm pretty sure 2011 was the last one, and so I'll be reviewing every other installment I did not just name in the next 2 months. But in the meantime and in between time, folks, you guys can catch me on the Twitter at WrestleRant, on the Facebook at facebook.com/graham.gsm.matthews, and of course right here on the YouTube by subscribing, sharing this video, liking, and commenting. All support is greatly appreciated. So on that note, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this entire series of Survivor Series reviews, no pun intended there. And as we move along here to my reviews of the Royal Rumble, going into the rest of 2015 and as 2016 as well. So until next time, guys, until Tuesday, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch you folks down the road.